Are we going dark now or no?
No, everybody can hear us, so it's kind of fun this way, I think. Everybody can still hear us. At first I was like, I ought to mute this out, but this is much more fun this way.
Yeah, we're up live, man. I got some really cool stuff to share. And we got a good author coming up. This is gonna rock. All right, sweet.
You got quite a report. I got a big report.
Yeah, man. It's a good one. It's gonna, it's kicking butt, man. I put it together, so I liked it. We'll see. And we're gonna do a little trivia, John. It's gonna be a little bit of Babylon 5, Star Trek, ESG trivia going on at the end. And
nice.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
Very nice. I saw that class. Chris came on for your class at film school. That's pretty cool, Chris.
Yeah, it was really cool.
Wow.
Yeah, man. Everybody was into it. They were taking notes and everything. It was really cool. Really, really cool.
All right, where's the on-off button? Oh, there's the on-off button.
3 minutes, everybody. 3 minutes.
But I'm not ready yet.
You better be ready.
Where's our YouTube account? Is that the right one? I hope that's the right one.
What are you talking about?
Just picking stuff.
Oh my God, is it the right YouTube account? That's funny. That's funny.
There's only like 10 of them. Just kidding. We only have two of them. 3 of them.
All right.
2 of them.
YouTube? Yeah, YouTube it's live. It's showing live. I don't know. It's showing live? What the hell's going on?
It's live.
It's up. Okay, it's running. It's up and running. Oh, I got some really cool stuff to bring up. Boom. All right, 2 minutes, guys. 2 minutes.
2 minutos. I'm on the right one here. Okay, bye, guys. No, this is definitely not the right one.
We have author Robert Kerns coming on. And, well, he's a big IT guy, man. So you should maybe, does he, I bet you if you give him access, he can fix it.
Yeah, he said he closed the browser twice to no avail. I will copy the link again from your email. What browser tends to work best? What is
Chrome.
Tell me.
Chrome.
Tell him Chrome. That'll rip, Chris.
I'm not ready yet. 3 minutes. Oh, wait a minute. That's
Put your shirt on. You mean like 20 seconds?
What? Wow. Something's really behind on my...
I'm looking at the screen. It says 14 seconds, 13, 12. You got a 9, 8. You got a countdown, my man.
Oh, that one.
And
give me a second.
stop tying your shoes, man.
The launch bay doors are stuck, Chuck. Hang on. I gotta send a guy out there with some lube. We got a WD-40.
Get the hand crank, man. Don't you have a hand crank? You can crank it open. Just use the hand crank, bro.
That's what it's not working. I think they sent somebody out there locking it got stuck. All right, I think we got it now. Let's hope this works. We're gonna find out.
All right, let's do it.
That's gonna work great, man.
That's gonna work great.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Boom.
Greetings.
Audio
Welcome
is
to
working?
Season 4. Yes. It's perfect. It is happening. I'm New York Pete.
Perfecto.
This is my best friend Chris, the Tipsy Toaster.
Yo.
We want to thank you all for tuning in to our news, pop culture, sci-fi entertainment channel. Full disclosure, Chris and I grew up on 70s, 80s TV, movies, comics, and cartoons, and we are big BSG fans. So welcome to our corner of the universe.
BSG is for Battlestar Galactica, by the way.
Excellent.
For some of those people who may think BSG stands for something else. Don't look up hashtag BSG on Twitter, by the way.
Oh yeah, it's bad.
It's not the BSG you're thinking of.
Well, welcome to the show, everybody. And
Big, sexy, never mind.
no, that's okay. Let it go. And so,
Let it go,
with that said,
let it
it
go.
go. We are going to toast the fans. So let's
Wow,
just
now.
jump right in.
Now you sound like we're going to burn them. So
Yes,
put them in a toaster.
see, that's what happened. Again, see, like all of these subliminal Cylon
That's right.
words, comments,
Associations.
associations.
That's all up here. All in, all in the positronic brain, man.
Especially since you got a new one.
Yeah. Oh, now it's worse now. I don't know. I'm the kind of guy that'll wake up in the morning or something and I'll have a song stuck in my head. Or somebody will say something and I'll automatically go to lyrics of the song. So let it go, let it go.
Oh boy!
I
All right.
can't
Well,
let it go.
no, you can't, can you? But anyway,
What you guys drink?
well, I'm drinking Budweiser.
I'm drinking
Tipsy,
Tipsy
Toaster.
Toaster.
Excellent. I like
I'm
it.
drinking.
Ready?
Here's what I'm drinking.
Oh, Black Bean. Ew.
Oh, Blackbeard's breakfast.
Oh, it's breakfast. Well,
Yep.
hey, breakfast is good any time of the day.
That's right. This is a porter brewed with coffee and aged in bourbon barrels. I like it already.
Ready?
Hey, let's see what it says in the back. Hang on.
Oh, okay.
It says, born near the harbor of Baltimore, it's close by here, by the way, and raised in the spirit of exploration, Heavy Seas has been independently brewed since 1995. We strive to craft brews that capture your sense of adventure. Fearless, bold, independent. Put the wind at your back and enjoy the Heavy Seas. Heavy Seas beer, Uncharted Waters series, Blackbeard's breakfast. And if you're out there, Heavy Seas, we could use a sponsor.
Yeah,
Your
we
turn.
sure could.
Your turn. It's
Budweiser.
Budweiser.
Love it. Thank you.
What's the actual start date on that? So mine started in 1994. I think Budweiser's been around since
1876.
Holy crap!
Bam.
I didn't know
That's
they were
right.
capturing horse.
Oh,
Never mind.
George says he wants one. Chuck's with us. Rob's with us. Mike Morlock's with us.
I got
Paul,
my-
Rob Baum,
All right, Blue Squadron
Sean,
repping.
Battlestar Bulletin Board, Cool, Sean. Thanks for joining us, guys, all live. Crystal Bailey, and I don't know. There's probably a few others. I believe Jonan is with us too. Thanks for joining, everybody. George G's in the house. Thanks for joining. When you're ready, King of Beers. That's right. Thanks, Rob. Ready? 1, 2, and 3. Oh boy! Boom. Okay.
No keyboard stickiness tonight, so we're good.
A Magners. Yeah. All right.
You're drinking out of a Magners thing. I'm drinking out of a Blue Squadron glass. Let's see what this looks like here.
All right. Mine looks
great, yes,
as usual.
It's as dark as my soul.
Gold. The King of Beers. That's what it is.
Dark as my soul.
Yeah.
That's some Cylon oil there, baby.
No.
I got the joints lubed up tonight.
Oh, dude, that looks disgusting.
Dude, I can't even see through this one.
God. No, you can't.
I wonder if it should be a light test. Hang on, let's do a light test, please. Hang on.
Light test? Yeah. That's something we've never done before.
I haven't done a light test before. Let's try this.
Yeah.
So let's do my flashlight on my cell phone, and we'll put it in the behind the. And no light.
Zero light. Zero.
No light. There's a light, but it's not going through. Light test is passed. It is nice and dark. That's my soul. All right, so you ready?
Yeah, man.
Your light test, I can see you through yours.
That's right. All right.
It makes a beer scarier when you can see through it and see Pete. So
yes, well, root beer for Lola. That's okay. Enjoy.
I bet the root beer doesn't pass the light test either, though.
No, it doesn't. And I love root beer. But anyway.
Oh, it smells like coffee.
It smells like Budweiser. I love Budweiser.
It smells like coffee and bad decisions.
Chris, we have a trademarked saying here on IFB.
Cylon's roll.
No, the other one.
The other one.
The other one. Yes.
We always like to say thanks to everyone, but we always say thanks to the fans. The fans are the people who fuel the fandoms. Also, we like to thank authors and artists and everybody else who create those fandoms. But in the end, it's the fans that fuel the fleet. So here's to the fans.
Here's to you guys. Thanks for tuning in, guys. Don't forget that we're going to...
Oh, my gosh.
Oh, boy.
I can taste the bourbon barrel.
The wood?
Yeah, it's a
smoky,
smoky bourbon barrel. Yummy. What's the alcoholic content on this thing?
I think you're drunk already.
Oh, it's the alcoholic content. You got. Holy crap! I'll just say it's 20 proof. It's 10% out. It's a 10% alcoholic beer. I like this beer already.
Oh boy! All right, you're gonna fail on the trivia tonight. That's for sure.
Fail. Oh, fail.
Both. You're gonna fall down failing.
Oh man, this is good. I can tell you. It's not as strong a coffee taste as I thought it would be, but the bourbon barrel.
Yeah, by the Lords. That's right, Paul. So okay, bring John 1 on, and then
I don't have John. Well, I can't bring John 1 on because I got so busy trying to fix my lighting setup. I did not. Well, we can bring John on, but you're going to have to give me a minute for reach into the background. And did you do his PowerPoint slides? Because if you did, I don't have them yet. So we can bring John up.
Keep drinking.
Yeah, you can. Well, you know what? I don't have a layout with just you and John.
Hey, Susan, what's up? Thanks for joining us live. Appreciate you. We just toasted, and
there it is.
You know, Tipsy Toaster is beside himself because his beer is like 20 proof, and he's going to be tipsy soon enough, and he's enjoying that. And,
give me a minute. I'm going to be looking up the.
Hey, John,
did you put it in our regular drive?
Yeah, and there's two in there. Look for.
Don't confuse me with two. Oh, the author one's in there too.
Oh
okay,
my
I just
God.
have it.
You stay on the binary thing, man. It's cool.
Ones and zeros, baby. Ones and zeros.
Yeah, that's right.
1 0 0 0 1 1 1 0 1 0 1. Yeah, that's the Clutch song. You've heard the Clutch song, right? 1 0 0 0 1 1 1 0 1 0 1.
All right, end of the world.
Yep.
Hey, John, I got some cool stuff, man.
Oh, that's not it.
Oh, we got.
Okay. Well, Let's open this one up. Oh, that's not it either.
Yep. So I finally completed my set, everybody. I got number 13. I got number 14. And the last one I needed was number 17. And so now I have...
So open them up, Pete. Come on.
Set.
Don't be chintzy there. Open those things up. Let's see what they look like.
What was the name of the chess game in Star Trek? Was it Vulcan chess, or was it a different name?
Oh, here it is. You're talking about this. 3-dimensional chess.
3-dimensional chess. Well, that's what it was.
Bam.
I thought it had
Rules
a name.
of Tri-D chess. Well, since you
There it
asked,
was.
the rules are here, so we're just going to open it up.
Well, this is not definitely... That's not the right drive.
God, it's going to be cool.
Try a different
Anyway,
one.
guys, I've been... Since these things came out, back in the day, I believe it was in the 70s, I've been trying to complete a set, and I finally did. And so...
Pete, what folder did you put these things in?
they're in the regular broadcast folder. And it's...
How many are
John,
in a set?
there are 17 of these. So this is number 14. And here, look at this. Tri-dimensional chess. So if you ever wondered, here's the rules. That's how you play it. And I don't know if you guys had any of these. There was a Battlestar Galactica poster book, and you fold it out, it opens up again. Oh, upside down. Let's get this right side up. The Federation historical overview, timeline. This thing is really cool, man. Look at that.
Oh, yeah, wow.
Where no man has gone before. And they usually pick, episodes that they'll talk about. And inside will be, inside of here is a poster, a giant poster. So when you finish reading it, right, you then put the poster up. So this one is a Spock poster. It's really cool. The write-ups were very, very good. I actually really enjoyed the write-ups. And here's the back issues available. Those are the posters.
Fascinating.
Absolutely.
Fascinating.
And then they had these for Battlestar Galactica, for Star Wars. These are really cool, man. So
Yay! Okay,
I don't know, John. Did you ever see these before?
I saw them. Yeah, I saw them at Winterfest. You got a couple of Winterfests.
Yeah.
I think I had one too. I have some
And
too at home.
do you remember when you and I went to Chiller? There was a guy selling these also.
Yeah.
And I hadn't seen that in a while. So I also wanted a little shout out to my friend, fellow film student, Jonan. He gifted this to me the other day. Thank you very much, Jonan. Appreciate it. Inside Star Trek: The Real Story. This is a really good book. I already started reading that. That's very cool.
Very nice.
Dorian
Is that about the
Zahn.
original series?
Oh yeah, it's all the inside stuff that nobody's actually talked about from their perspective. They were involved on the the executive level, and so yeah, really cool stuff, man. Dorian's with us. Hey, Dorian, I have that chess game. Outstanding, man. You're cool.
Does he know how to play it?
Yes, that was the next question. He might know how to play it. The question is, do you have anybody to play with? Because hey,
Wow, are you trying to say he doesn't have any friends?
no, I don't think there's a lot of people who know how to play tri-dimensional chess, bro.
I'm just saying he doesn't have any Star Trek friends. Is that what you're trying to say?
I may not have any Star Trek friends. I don't know.
Well, I know he's got
Find out.
Battlestar friends.
Yes. Paul says he has a few of the BSG
He's got
poster
Battlestar
books.
Battle Buddies.
That's it.
Yeah, there you go. Battlestar Battle Buddies. That's right.
Hey.
So, John, what's up? What's
Okay,
what's
I'm
going
set
on?
whenever you are.
All
I
right.
think. I think. Hang on.
All right, let's.
Let me set up the other thing first, too. Hang on.
Okay. All right, set up the other thing. No problem. Hey, John, what is your next convention?
There's a comic book show this Sunday, and
Okay.
base show. I might take the kids to, and I think one's coming up next month. It's going to be the Star Trek convention. I have to start hearing from them.
Okay,
And,
cool.
Let's see this. I know that next month there's not that sure, but I think there's a Philly card show next month.
Yes, there is.
Sporting Club. I think
Yeah.
it's May 12th or the 20th. I'm not that sure. So I have the date
Yeah.
somewhere, but I think it's next month.
Yeah, it's coming up soon. So anybody that's interested, we actually went last year. Chris and I went out, and we met. Believe it or not, we met one of our IFB, the unofficial fact checker. Rob Bow came out and met with us, and we did a little mini interview, which was really cool. Got to meet Rob in person, and hey, it's good
cool
stuff.
Guy.
That's a
interview.
Oh yeah, and it's really cool con. I've been to it a few times. I find some really cool finds. Even Tipsy Toaster picked up a couple of things. I mean, it's a day trip at a minimum, right? Yeah. But it's definitely worth. If you've never been to a non-sports card show, it's definitely the best one out there. There isn't anybody better than that. Hey, Dorian says it's not hard to play. That booklet has the rules. The trick is to convince others to learn to play it. See, I figured as much.
We need to get down and play with the FASA game. I haven't played that in years. I need to pick and I need to
the Battlestar.
Yeah, the Battlestar.
The Battlestar game.
Yeah,
the Battlestar one. Yeah.
Yeah, FASA. All right, I'm ready. FASA. I think.
All right, cool.
All right, wait a minute. Oh, I'm not.
Oh, here we go. Hold on.
Gotta get my intro.
I'm working on it. Actually, I was looking at it today for a new intro.
Yes. We're gonna get waves, and it'd be cool if we could do like a
sounds.
yes, typewriter sounds for Kolchak and Twilight Zone.
Yeah.
That's same thing. The news intro that used to be on Sesame Street with Kermit the Frog.
Yeah.
Wilma,
that'd be perfect.
There would be. Wilma, thank you for watching.
There you go, John. I think we're set now. I don't have the intro for you yet, but we can do the. Oh, yes.
Good evening, everybody. I'm your anchor, co-anchor, John 1, bringing the news from the street. We got some good stuff tonight. First up, it's Civil War. It's a dystopian future America where a team of military-embedded journalists race against time to reach Washington, D.C. before rebel forces do. Well, it looks like it's getting serious. Might be one of those stories that might not be too far from the truth. All right, take a side and see it in theaters April 12th.
Ooh.
Well, the devil's at it again in this movie. This is one. Oh wait. What was that? Devil's at it again. A woman starts to question her own faith when she uncovers a conspiracy to bring about the birth of evil incarnate in the first Omen. I guess
Count
it's a
Ebly.
prelude of the devil trying to have another kid again, and the big conspiracy. She finds out and
Mephistopheles.
the devil. Yep, just like all the other Mary Jane movies and all the Omen movies. So this is the Omen, and this is just like the first one. See that April 12th. This one is for all you arachnophobes. A young girl finds a spider and keeps it in her jar in her rundown apartment.
Oh no!
No,
not happening.
The spider starts to grow at a monstrously large speed, and it starts to eat her neighbors. So her and her family try to escape the spider before it eats them.
They were all sitting around the bench there, all sitting around the writer's room, and go, you know what we need? We need a spider movie that eats people.
Yeah, spider like to start getting a taste for blood. So that's if you watch the trailer, it's really freaks you out. I'm like,
I don't like spiders.
So check under your seat when you go see Sting, dropping in theaters April 12th. And this brings us to another scary movie called Abigail. It's Paramount, Universal's attempt to bring back all its old monsters and everything, because they're starting to do that with comics and books and everything. And this is about Abigail, about a group of would-be criminals who decide to kidnap a shady underworld boss's daughter in an isolated mansion somewhere. And it turns out the problem is the victim turns out to be a vampire, and the mansion shuts down on them, and the kidnappers become the victims while she runs around this mansion and starts eating them. So it's based on a re-imaging of 1936 Universal Classics monsters film Dracula's Daughter. So
Huh.
see Abigail in theaters April 19th. It looks pretty funny. If you saw the previews and the trailers for it,
Did you say funny? It's a
like one of
comedy?
those horror movies.
Oh.
Well, it kind of, a little girl ballerina and she starts eating people, so it's, I guess they're trying to freak out, like, she's a vampire.
Sounds like Chucky.
Yeah, but worse.
Yeah. But, I guess I've been, a little bit desensitized all the horror movies I see, so it looks pretty funny. But it looks like a fun show. Why not? Get a couple of laughs.
All right, John's
And
idea of
Chucky.
fun and my idea of fun are two different things. But that lead-in was thrown at you, and you missed it there, John. It sounds a lot like Chucky.
And, by the way, Chucky's coming back for his season 3 on Sci-Fi and USA, starting April 12th. And I saw the previews for that. Chucky looks like an old man. He's probably not surviving, so I guess as a doll, they age. But, I really couldn't get into the series myself.
Look at that, John. You missed the first catch, but you threw it out the second time. Good job.
That Hampton's running that wheel. Just take him for a while.
At least you didn't fall off of it. I mean, yeah, at least you didn't fall out that time.
Fall out. I'm chasing the car for it. Gotta get back in.
Yep. And he misses it again. Speaking of fallout.
Oh, darn.
Good Lord. They're throwing these softball. Yeah, you drink some more. You're going to need that.
All right, I'm gonna need that. I gotta catch up. All right. Good. You get an egg. Speaking of Fallout, this upcoming series based on the popular video game of all time, people say, called Fallout, takes place in a post-apocalyptic America. Has a good cast. Tracy Goggins is in, a guy from Justified. About a group of people trying to survive in a post-apocalyptic world while they start robbing from each other and surviving, and they start shooting each other. So it looks pretty good. The game is pretty good, so the series is pretty good too. That's going to be on Amazon Prime April 11th, next week. So looking forward to it. Check it out. And let's turn on to some lighter fare. The Roku channel will release the Spiderwick Chronicles, based on the fantasy book series. There's a movie about it. It's about the Grace family who moved from New York to their ancestral home in Michigan. And they find out, their father was there, and they find out their father's was doing an investigation to find out there are fairies and mythical creatures in, and they're trying to protect these creatures from an evil troll. So it looks pretty good. It's on the Roku channel. If you have Roku, try it out. I think I have Roku, but I gotta find it.
Yeah, that looks like a real rebellious movie.
Yeah, it's a series, so it's pretty good. Yeah,
This
something
is it
kids watch
again.
with the kids. So. April 19th.
He
And
misses it again.
Zack Snyder's Rebel Moon will return for part 2 of the Space Saga series. See it on Netflix April 19th. I'm still out on the first one. Like her accent was bad, the coloring, some of the stuff wasn't adding right, but hopefully when part 2 comes out, it'll change my mind.
I don't think I've seen the first one.
No?
Did that ever make it to the silver screen?
Yeah, it's on Netflix now.
Oh, Netflix is not the
Yep.
silver screen.
No. Oh, come on. Julia Garner from Ozark will reportedly play an alternate version of the Silver Surfer, taking on the role of Shal Baal, who was the first introduced as Al Norenrad's lover in Silver Surfer #1. Now, I really don't see her as that character. I think a lot of purists, actually, I'm melting down about this now, but, I don't want to add to that dumpster fire, but I'll give her a chance. And then I'll just, poo-poo her afterwards like everyone else will, because she's going to be horrible. But hey, good for her. So the meltdown counter for her being in this character has begun, so I'm just going to wait for it. And Timothy Olyphant has joined the cast on Hulu's Alien Romulus. This series just seems to be getting better and better as much as I hear about it, and it's going to be great when it comes out this summer. And we're looking forward. I think there's a release date for July 19th or something like that, July 2nd, but it's coming out this summer. And that's going to be good.
That's a prequel to the very first one?
Prequel, very first one. Okay. On the ship, and then they find it, and then they're trying to fight them up just like on the ship, just like in the original one. So guess what happens probably at the end? They probably don't make it. Oops. All right. I hope not.
As long as they don't eat the cat, we're good. Don't eat the cat.
And then another sneak peek for the upcoming Star Trek Section 31 movie, which was just got finished shooting in Toronto. This is Michelle Yeoh, who plays the secret unit. She's probably interrogating somebody. But they were going to make this into a series, but they decided to make it a movie. and they're probably going to release it on Paramount sometime later this year.
Yeah, that head's really looking strange.
Yeah, it's either a Borg or an alien or something to it, but it looks pretty cool. And this is a pretty good movie. So
Strange. Hello?
hello?
Right,
Yeah.
there you go.
Are we there? All right. We're freezing. Oh no. And let's see. Hopefully it'll be this year. And the last part we have are 2 books. We all like our authors. We like our books. And this first book, The Star and the Strange Moon by Constance Say, is about a film student who studies film and finds out his favorite star is actually stuck in a movie, and he tries to black magic and fantasy tries to go save her. So it looks pretty cool, and that's out now. And there's another one that I kind of like. I like this kind of mixed up stories, you know. Same as Micah Harris, a previous guest. He likes these too. But this is the unlikely affair of the crawling razor. Brings together Joe R. Lansdale's classic villain, the God of the Razor. You know, Lansdale, he did a lot of graphic novels. Did a Tarzan series before in comics. He looks pretty cool. And Edgar Allan Poe's great detective C. Auguste Dupin. For a short horror novella set in the streets and catacombs of Paris. I love these type of stories. And that's all I have for tonight, guys.
All right. Is it just me, or is that O in a very provocative area?
I think it's just you, but that's beside the point.
I mean, was that purpose or not?
Yeah, it's got to be on purpose.
That's just weird.
That's sick. But anyway, hey, John, really good. I got to bring up, there's something that we got to talk about real quick.
Yes.
I brought this up with Tipsy. However, Mike DeBrune, thanks for joining us. Brian Beloffs, thanks for joining us live. Don't Call Chuck Chucky. And who else? Oh, hey, Ken Brzezinski, thanks for joining us. And I got to tell you something. We got a great question from Ed Hale, the ambassador. And he wants to know, right? He sent me this message right before we went up on live. And he says, he asked us a question. He goes, hey, Pete, I assume you're getting ready for the show. Correct. But did you guys already cover the film The Creator? And I was like, no, I don't think so. He says it's one of the most realistic, futuristic movies I've ever seen. I'm not saying it's great. I'm not even sure it's good. Still have 20 or 30 minutes left, but it's so futuristic. Reminds you of Blade Runner, but technically so much further along. Curious if you already did a piece on it, and the answer is we did not. And he came back and he says he's awestruck. He says it's like 40 years from now. He's very, very impressed. It's quite dystopian, and I brought it up, Ed. Thank you for bringing it to our attention. Any of you guys out there, have you watched it? John, did you see this? No.
Yeah, I actually reported on it. Upcoming season. It's out on streaming services now. It's about people trying to survive a AI controlled society, and the guy is trying to transport this young child into safety, and that the robots are trying to kill him and stuff like that. It looked really good. I haven't seen it yet.
That sounds amazing. There's killer robots in it. We're set.
It's like an AI controlled world. I think it's out on Apple, or it might be on Peacock. I'm not that sure, but it's one of those streaming services. I heard it's really, really good. Got a lot of good reviews. It came out like a couple months ago, and it went right to streaming. So
okay,
I haven't
cool.
seen it yet. I plan on seeing it, and it looks really good. The acting is great, from what I understand.
Excellent. Rob Baum mentions Alien Phenomenon. Says, I think it's an epic documentary on Cameron's film. So, no, I am not familiar, and I didn't know that came out. So that's definitely something I want to see. I know that Tiny Bean is a real big fan, so I'm sure she's going to jump on that. But way cool. John, as always, thank you for bringing us, the news, and also getting us our guests. As a matter of fact, you have some guests lined up for the IFB exclusive. So everybody stay tuned, because we're gonna have pretty much every other week as we expand IFB in the Tipsy Toasters original vision for IFB platform as we move on to expanding. So thank you to everybody. Netflix turning Matrix into a series. Brian just brought that up. Holy mackerel, really? That's insane. Oh boy.
Oh, wow.
I don't know if I'm looking forward to that, but we should look into that, John.
Yeah.
The
gonna
Matrix
bug me on again.
series? Yeah. Anyway, so keep us posted on the convention. If
Thank you,
you
Brian.
do, if you're gonna go to the comic book thing, make sure you take some pictures so we
Yes.
can put that up. All right.
Yep.
If you run across any Adam 12 comics, let me know.
Adam 12.
Yep.
Looking for it.
Adam 12, or I think you already got me the Airwolf.
Oh, the Airwolf. Yep.
Airwolf, yeah, that was insane. Yes, talk about Airwolf.
That's
Yep.
pretty cool.
Oh yeah,
I was so proud of myself. I got it.
that's right. Hey, Judd, stay tuned later because remember we're gonna do a little bit of trivia, Babylon 5 trivia. We're gonna do some classic Star Trek trivia, and we're gonna throw in some TOS Battlestar Galactica. And for Babylon 5, guys, we're going to it's the ultimate quiz book by our friend Chris McCauley and Ian.
I mean, would you
Kelly.
buy any other book besides the Ultimate one?
No, you would not.
You
And
would
it just
not.
so happens it happens to be written by Chris McCauley. So
Has he ever?
forward by
We haven't interviewed him on that one yet, have we?
no, we have not. We have not. As a matter of fact, he's got a series of quiz books that he's going to be coming out with this
and
year.
And we have talked to him about a specific one.
A specific one. So there is definitely more to come. I believe there is going to be a Star Trek one and a bunch of others that he is going to be putting out. So we're gonna use this tonight. So if you guys, get those juices flowing because we're gonna have a little B5, Battlestar Galactica, and Star Trek.
Awesome.
Awesome.
Yes,
Awesome.
absolutely.
Awesome. I'm just back here pushing buttons, and I found a new thing I needed to do. So
Oh yeah. All right. Yes. Long range scout mission returning inbound. Mike DeBruin, you have been missed. Glad that you're back with us, man. Very cool.
There you
So
is that one?
yeah, John, keep us posted, bro.
Okay, guys.
Ha ha ha! I am powerful
Stick
now.
around the wings.
All right, buddy. Thank you.
All right, guys.
Take care.
So stay in the wings
Chris.
out there, right?
Yeah, stay in the wings.
Yeah, man.
Okay.
So Tipsy, we said that later on the show we'll come up with some of these trivia questions and see if we can get our fans to jump in with some of the answers. It'd be fun to see how that plays. We're not going to use now what we used to do, or we have done in the past, guys. In some of our past seasons, we use an app. This time, we're not going to use the app. We're going to keep it simple.
We didn't have time to do that yet, so but
Yeah,
we
we're just
will
gonna
get
be-
back to it because we pay for it
Yeah.
every year. So
Yes, this year we'll do it. We're going to actually do more than once, but we're just
Yes.
going to fool around with, old style. We'll put out the questions. We'll talk a little bit, see if you guys, who comes up with an answer, and then we'll, I could see it in your eyes, man. I can see it already.
is this thing on?
Oh boy! All right. So, I don't know if you guys got a chance to check out some of the posts on the IFB. George G found us some info that we actually looked at, and it talks about Babylon 5 and Mr. Straczynski trying to bridge the gap, and it's a fairly new interview that he gave.
Yeah, we got. I was telling Pete we got to watch those things because sometimes we just get regurgitated stuff. Like the
this
Battlestar
time it
Galactica
wasn't.
stuff is always, but that's
Yeah,
one
yeah,
doesn't
yeah.
look like it's too regurgitated.
No.
So
Yeah,
Could
they're
be
pushing
interesting.
it, Chris. Yeah, it would be. I mean, he's trying hard, and he got really close too. At one point, he almost had it back, and then I think I believe it was the pandemic happened, and then right after that again, and then it kind of fell apart, and because there was the merger and sales and acquisitions, and I think it had to do with the CW. So right now, it looks like he's pushing hard again. So good luck to them. I mean, B5 is it's a classic. It's a good show. I remember watching and enjoying
Yep.
it. So
that's it's definitely one of when if you haven't watched, I love all of the ones, but Battlestar Galactica, Farscape.
Oh yeah.
Well, there's too many to name now. I just said, like, if I was gonna say, I was gonna name my top 5, but like all of a sudden it turned into a top 20.
You're a big fan of what's the ones that you ended up, the newer ones, the ones that you
I love
bought all
Defiance. Defiance,
yeah.
Defiance got canned.
Fan.
It was a really great show. I loved Caprica. Nobody
Yes.
seems to love. There was a article the other day about Battlestar Galactica and how Caprica was an utter failure and it was horrible. And I'm like, what? It was fantastic.
Caprica was really, really good.
Yeah, it was. It was a different move.
Yeah, but it was still good.
It wasn't in space, I guess. It wasn't space battles, and people were like, "Oh, what's space battles?" So I guess that was not good enough for them. So I loved the backstory. I thought it was great, and of course the Taurons and the Greek. We used a lot of that into our
Stranded Warrior.
Stranded Warrior movie. So we used a lot of that. Came through.
Oh yeah.
So.
James McCoy, thank you for joining us live, my friend. Appreciate it. And speaking of the Stranded Warrior, Chuck Davenport has actually...
Don't call him Chucky.
Don't call him Chucky. Has actually moved forward very, very rapidly based on his new techniques. And we're getting very close to having a full rough cut.
Yes.
Right. So a full rough cut of the whole thing. And once that's in place, we will be working on the film festival version. It's going to be a tighter, smaller, shorter.
Screen removed and everything,
Yeah, and then that'll be going into the film festival circuit. So all that is going to be happening within, later this year, but not too much later. And that's all thanks to Chuck and his amazing talents and perseverance. So thank you again, Chuck, for doing that. Dorian is just salivating to get his hands on some of these scenes so he could actually do the music, the soundtrack, original music that he's been working on for the Stranded Warrior. So that's happening as well. And, keep checking out IFB because we've been posting some really cool insider stories. I hope you guys are enjoying that as well. And don't forget to stop into the Stranded Warrior as well, right, Chris?
Oh yeah, we're definitely still there. We're still live. It's still working. Matter of fact, during my move, I have everything in a big tote for when we do the premiere, so we can take some of the props and take them with us to the premiere.
Yeah, that'd be very, very cool. That really would be. So that's happening. That's all happening, guys. And you would be very... Oh, you know what? Johnny Carza was on.
Johnny K. And they're working... Yeah. They're still finishing up theirs. Star Trek one.
It's based, I think, in the world or the era of the Wrath of Khan.
Yeah,
so they're in the Maroon...
What do they call those?
Monster Maroons.
Monster Maroons, that's it.
Yeah. So... Very cool stuff. Thank you for joining us, everybody that's here with us live. And then all of you that watch later on. Some of our shows recently have topped the 2,000 views and then some. So thank you, everybody, for watching and, stepping into our
If y'all are drunk, keep drinking because that's fantastic. I don't know why you're watching it. No, just kidding. So here's to you people who are watching us, and
absolutely
the present
thank you.
And in the past, and I don't know if you can be watching us in the future, but
in the future, I think Baz and anybody on that part of the globe are in the future.
They're in the future.
So
that's it.
They're in the future. So thank you. Yeah.
So look at that. We're covering the past, present, and future.
And future. That's correct. So thank you for watching, everybody. And we have a whole bunch of other projects. We told you we're going to be jumping into the fanzines. We're going to be doing some of the we're going to do trivia, a little bit of trivia tonight, but we're definitely going to be visiting the fanzines and the fan fiction again. Believe it or not, it's still going strong. I don't know.
Every time you say "believe it or not," I just keep that "believe it or not." I'm working on it. Sorry.
and that is from
Does anybody know?
another great show that we don't really talk about that much, but a very good show.
I just introduced it to my fiance because she is a special education teacher.
Oh, okay. It's a great show, man. It's a great show.
It is.
For
Hey,
what
buddy,
it, you know,
and
what
nobody's
it was.
answered it yet. Come
Oh,
on.
come on. Yes, Mike the Bruin, greatest American hero. That's right. That's right. Very good. Let's see. Well, guys, you know,
We're ready for our guest now.
let's do it. Let's bring him on.
You want to do
Robert
the
Kerns.
quick intro?
Absolutely. So, Rob's been writing for around 20 years. Happens to be an IT specialist in another life,
Woohoo!
but he's also, also the author, and he does a whole bunch of really. He has several books out, and I want to pick his brain a little bit on, the usual that we like to discuss here. What's it like to world build? What's the process? Tell us about the actual stories themselves, the arcs, the characters. Where do you go from here? All of our usual questions that we like to pose to the authors, and each one's unique. Each one is special. Everybody has their own take, as well as what they're working on now, what the future will look like, and how do we meet them? Are they going to cons? Right, in this new post-pandemic world, how does that play out? Some of the authors do the circuit. We've met a lot of them. Some of them don't, but that's okay. So, we're looking forward to hearing from him. Of course, he'll tell us where you can acquire things. Usually it's just Amazon. Sometimes they have their own, but, we'll let him tell us a little bit about that. But I'm very curious how he's merged his worlds, his personal and his stories and his books. How does that all play out?
So, drum roll.
Drum roll, Robert Kerns. There we go. Hey, Rob, welcome to IFB.
Let's see if this audio works first.
Thank you for having me.
Yay!
Oh,
okay.
absolutely. So, Rob.
That's always the first test.
yes.
Yes, it works. We have video, but do we have audio? Yes, we have
Yes,
audio
we
too.
do. Rob, you're an IT guy, man, at heart. I mean, that's part of your bio.
Yes, my first IT job was 2002 to 2004, and from there I delved into systems and networks, and I worked at a rural college for 7.5 years, and I was always the guy in the corner booth at a local restaurant sprawling out a network or server design on a napkin.
Of course. Nothing wrong with that at all. So how does all of that, though, translate into writing? How does that happen?
Well, I actually was toying around with writing before I got into IT. I would like to think that my IT experience lends itself well to making computer design, computer calamities, and that kind of thing in fiction rather believable and realistic.
I would hope so. But that doesn't mean that it always comes to fruition, right? A lot of us that are not, into the tech world professionally, or even as amateurs, are can make their way into writing, but not everybody does. Obviously, you've managed to become a respected sci-fi author in your own right, and obviously you're going to tap into that skill set that you've built up, but not everybody does it. So what's your secret? I mean, how did this happen?
Well, IT, information technology, was, by the time I by the time I moved over to focus on my stories, IT was a way to pay the bills that worked for how my head works. Computers, for whatever reason, just make sense to me. And it it's a lot more fun when it's my own hobbyist work than when it's a professional capacity done for a living. I could tell horror stories that would curl your hair.
So so
Both.
so okay. So Rob, you've actually you don't only write sci-fi. I mean, you've actually gone into fantasy as well.
Yes. Um, Honestly, I would say fantasy is my first love.
Wow.
I What got me started writing was David Eddings' Belgariad and Malorian, and the Dragonlance Chronicles and Legends trilogies by Margaret Weiss and Tracy Hickman. I remember being a teenager and finishing the Legends trilogy, and I didn't like the ending. Don't get me wrong, the ending of the Legends trilogy was totally appropriate to the trilogy. It was very well written. It was, from a story perspective, it was an excellent ending. But I personally didn't like it. I thought it should have ended a different way. And I've that's what got me started. I
Wow, that's interesting. All right, all right, so look, full disclosure to the fans that are watching now and the fans that are going to watch this in rerun or in the future. Um, we didn't prep at all. So I'm gonna ask you some questions, Rob, and you know do the best you can. They're not meant to put you on the spot, but sometimes, you know, even when I still get them, I'm like, oh boy. Tell us, give us a couple of your favorite sci-fi movies, sci-fi TV, and then fantasy, right? Give us some of your
Inspirations.
favorite. Yeah, I mean, what is it? What great movies, you know, fantasy wise, do you ever turn to? I'll tell you one of mine off the top of my head is always Krull, right? What about you? What about TV as well? Give us some of that. Give us your background on who you are in terms of that aspect.
um, fantasy is always fantasy to me often seems to be difficult to do well on TV and film, because how do you show magic? How do science fiction in that respect is a lot easier. But for fantasy, I would say, um, I think the title of the movie was Lady Hawk with Rutger
Oh,
Hauer and
wow.
Michelle
Yeah.
Wow.
Pfeiffer.
There you go.
Yeah, good one.
I've seen bits and pieces of Willow down through the years, but I don't think I've ever seen it all the way through, start to finish, one sitting. Um, Other fantasy movies. I actually discovered the Dresden Files through the Sci-Fi Channel TV show
Oh,
instead of discovering the TV show through the novels.
excellent.
I
Okay.
I am of I'm of the opinion. Say what you want to say about the TV show. I'm of the opinion that Paul Blackthorne is the perfect actor for Harry Dresden.
Okay, cool. Very cool. I started watching or rewatching. So I'd caught episodes when it first came out, and very recently I started watching again. I started rewatching the Dresden Files, and I started reading the first one of the first book. So, all right, cool. That's good to know. What about then your sci-fi background? What's influenced that?
Ooh. Okay. Well, I discovered Star Trek through the Next Generation.
Okay.
Okay.
And then I went back and watched the original series. Then The Fifth Element,
Ooh.
Oh. Okay.
Babylon 5. One of my
Yes.
favorite episodes of Babylon 5 is, I want to say, the third season, where the fleet comes from Earth to take Babylon 5, and the Minbari arrive with a fleet and stop it. One of my favorite episodes of the whole series. And also, I love how J. Michael Straczynski structured the series to be 5 seasons complete and tell a complete story from start to finish. There are a few episodes here and there that feel like they don't really connect, and they're just kind of like character development filler. And then 2 or 3 seasons in, something from that one episode that didn't seem to fit that season all of a sudden makes complete and perfect sense.
Yeah. I'll tell you, one of my favorite episodes was the one that started out like a newscast, and it was almost like a 60 minutes, and you're watching, it's like, oh my God, this is so cool. It's broadcast from Babylon 5 station, and it's basically, I was like, this is so cool. So that's one of the ones that all-time favorite. But no, yeah, good stuff. What's your opinion on some of the newer things that have come out? Some of the new shows or movies? Do you have a take on any of the newer stuff?
Star Trek Strange New Worlds on Paramount Plus is incredible. I think this is getting a little bit more dated, but I think they canceled Enterprise far too soon.
Amen.
In my mind, they should have given them one more season to get the Earth Romulan War going, and I think the way they were gearing up for that, I think that would have carried Enterprise through the 7-season run that Star Trek seems to prefer.
Agreed.
I've had a little trouble getting into Star Trek Discovery. Most of my science fiction and fantasy exploration is novels, and primarily novels. Short stories, unfortunately, I'm usually just getting to the point where I'm invested, and the story ends. Like, what? It's too soon.
Yeah, agreed. Well, so that's kind of like the bridge, Rob, to getting then into the meat and potatoes of your books and your series. I just wanted to thank some of our guests before I let you get into it. Robert Edmondson, thank you for joining us. Baz from Down Under, thank you. Movement on his Viper trailer. Baz, thanks for tuning in from Down Under. Kevin Reppenhage, I hope I'm not butchering your last name, Kevin, but thank you so much for joining us live. And let me just make sure. Yeah. So Rob, if you would, let's get into your books, and there's questions that have been put up that I want to pose based specifically on your books. So walk us through this, please.
Okay. I'm going to ask for clarification. Walk us through what exactly? Like start to finish my writing career, or?
Well, no. Rob, we actually put up some of the images that you sent us, and this one here happens to be Cole and Strex, the complete series. So I was hoping that we could do a dive into this, and you kind of tell us about the characters, the books. Give us an insight on this, if you would.
Of course. The Cole and Strex series, anytime I talk about this series, I love telling where the idea came from. The first 2 chapters of It Ain't Over came from a dream I had around the end of August, 1st of September in 2018. And
Wow.
in the dream, if you look at the cover art that's on screen right beside me for It Ain't Over, my perspective in the dream, I was the guy in the spacesuit.
Wow. That's cool.
And I hardly ever remember my dreams. And when I woke up, I wrote I think it ended up being 3 or 5 notebook pages of where I just wrote down the dream. And a couple days later, I was going back and rereading what I wrote because it was still crystal clear. I normally don't remember my dreams. And I was about halfway through rereading, and I grabbed another piece of paper and wrote down 5 titles. And I used 4 of them. I honestly think I had the most fun writing Shreks out of that series. One of my favorite pieces of that whole series was the interactions between Cole and Shreks, how Cole never quite convinced Shreks of the concept of data privacy.
Huh. Interesting.
Shreks, the Shreks, by the way, is an artificial intelligence that was basically embedded in a ship that Cole found. And that's how they meet, I guess you would say. Cole, at the start of the book, is kind of a ruffian, ne'er-do-well. Not really a true criminal, but he more of a gray. And it's in the process of trying to escape that and disappear, he stumbles across an ancient starship.
Oh.
That at first seems dead. And then he discovers Shreks. And from then on, hijinks ensue.
Interesting. And that takes you, Rob, it takes us where? How far do you go from this concept that you're introducing? Where does that end up?
Well, first of all, it's set in the far future. I like, for most of my science fiction, I like the far future, or at least a couple hundred years, where I have some wiggle room and I can play around a little bit with the technology. And by the end of book 1, Cole has decided that he's not going to buy a planet and disappear, and instead claim his inheritance and birthright and start trying to carve out an island of sanity in a galaxy that's going a little nuts.
Wow, okay. And did you purposely set up a story arc that would come to an ending or not? How does that play now in terms of this specific set of stories?
Okay. The way it ended was very much not my first choice. When I first started jotting down notes about Cole and Shreks, I had in my mind that it would be a 10-book series, like my first fantasy series will be. I've published the first 5, and I wanted to write some other stuff because, well, the voice is in my head. However, I ran into something I was not expecting with Cole and Shreks. In 2019, when I published the first 3 books, I was not prepared at all for the reception. of the books. The reception was overwhelmingly good,
Excellent.
and yes, I'm greatly appreciative of that. But it was also at the time being very new to published writer. It was overwhelming in general. So something about the series broke for me, and I haven't been able to get back to it and give it the treatment that I feel it deserves. In 2021, I made myself sit down and write The Fires of Aurelius to tie off the storyline, just to close it out, mainly because I felt the readers deserved some kind of ending, and I didn't want to be one of those writers that starts a series and never finishes it. If somewhere down the line I am able to return to the series, I will update the existing ebooks instead of publish new, just so that anyone who's already purchased the book won't have to repurchase to get the quote unquote new story.
Excellent. Well, that's one way to approach this. We got a question from John, our very own. He wants to know, what was the hardest book that you wrote?
Oh, hands down, Fires of Aurelius. Hands down. I did not want to write that book, and that's the most difficult process when you're forcing yourself to write a story that you really don't want to write.
Wow.
It almost killed my interest in writing.
Wow. So, well, you got to tell us a little bit more about that then.
Okay. Well, it was like I was saying just a few moments ago. The Colin Schreck's the response to the series was really overwhelming to me at that early point in my career as a writer and publisher, and I missed 2 pre-order deadlines on Amazon because it was just, well, I keep going back to the word overwhelming. It really was. So I tried multiple times after that to write Fires, and when I realized it was not going to come together the way I wanted, I sat down and I talked it over with my editor, and the advice was there should be some kind of closure. So I sat down and I forced myself to write The Fires of Aurelius. I received, matter of fact, I still receive emails where people tell me that it's not the story they were expecting. And I completely understand and sympathize with them because it wasn't the story I was expecting either.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, okay, so Rob, we have a question for you from Baz, who's
Okay.
on the opposite end of the world, down under, and he wants to know, do you write mainly for fun, or is it your plan to live off it?
Both. I write first and foremost for me, for fun. I tell the stories that interest me, that grab me in some way. But I am also very fortunate in that enough people like my stories that I'm able to make a living off of it.
Wow.
Wow.
Awesome.
Yeah. We have a follow-up then. He wants to know, can a person with no formal writing education but a good imagination and a good story write and publish a book successfully?
I see no reason why not. The important thing to remember when you're approaching the idea of going in and writing a story and publishing it without necessarily like an English degree background. Number one, write the story you've always wanted to read that nobody has written yet. Write for you, first and foremost. Write something you love that has you waking up excited every day to get back to and add words to. That will carry through, and your readers will it will carry through your story and increase the odds extensively that your readers will love your story as much as you do. Of course,
Wow.
nothing is guaranteed, but I am firmly convinced anyone who has a story they really, really love and would love to see told but has not been written yet, sit down and write it. And if you're coming to it from, let's say, grammar, I know here in the States we tend to call it English class, and I'm sure different localities have different words for it. But if grammar and spelling and that kind of thing are not your strong suit, that's okay. That's why they make proofreaders and editors. The important thing is to remember you're a storyteller first. There's an old saying: know the rules so you can break them, and know how to break them. A storyteller is not worried about having your commas in the right place and using an em dash instead of a hyphen, or an ellipsis instead of a comma. You know, all the details that grammar teachers or English teachers are so worried about coming up through the grades or in college or whatever. The important part is to have it be an engaging story. Have it be have the words and the pacing and the cadence of what you've put on the page convey what you want the story to feel like.
Wow.
I feel like I've kind of shanghaied the discussion with that answer. It happens to be near and dear to my heart.
Well, look, it's important that everybody know that not only are you a successful author, Rob, but you're also a publisher. So what you're telling us counts, on many different dimensions. So it should be appreciated. I'm not going to let Baz go. I think he's got something going. He says, what about the excruciating grind of finding a publisher, knowing the right people, the channels, financial outlay, terrifying, daunting? I think you,
Okay.
Rob, you kind of laid it out. First and foremost, you got to have the story.
Mm-hmm. Until you have a story you're prepared to claim in public, there's no reason to worry about publishing or anything else. It took me 20 years before I had a story I felt like putting my name on in public. My very first novel was a fantasy novel. It's Awakening, and if the novel that was published was numbered according to software versioning rules, it would be version at least 15.
Okay, that says a lot.
The and it was really my study piece. It would be it was really I first started that back around 2000, and as I read more and learned more about story construction and story flow and all that, I tended to start a new version. And
They say it
yeah,
takes at least 5 times, right, Rob? You can't, it's not. It's kind of odd to say or believe that, you write it. The first draft is the one that's going to get published.
I would agree with that. I after awakening, I got enough of a feel of the process that I have my process down to about 3 drafts,
No, there
and
you go.
depending on how you define draft, it
Okay.
could be 4 to 5, but really 3 core cycles.
Course cycles. Okay. Rob, before you go on, Tedford is with us. Steve McCormick, and I think we had somebody else jump on live that I wanted to. Jesse. Jesse, thank you guys for jumping on live with us today. We have Robert M. Kerns, author, publisher, and we're discussing his background, the trade. We went into a little bit of, what makes him the author that he is in terms of, his favorites, and I dragged some of that fantasy, sci-fi, influences, but we haven't really gotten into the other side. So you've done, we talked a little bit about your sci-fi writing. Let's talk about some of the fantasy that you've written, because you've written plenty of those as well successfully. So walk us through that, please.
Okay. Well, like I said earlier, my very first publication was a fantasy novel. The story idea from Awakening and that world in general, for my first series, History of Drakmor, dates back to around 1999 and 2000, somewhere in there. I actually wanted to write the 4th book, the story that is the 4th book, Home Sweet Home, but it was a situation where if I started there, no one would understand what was going on. I would have to spend like 15 chapters at least with the how we got to here discussion. So I went back, found a good starting place, and wrote the first 3 so that I could have the fun story.
Wow.
Right now, my catalog is very fantasy heavy, both in epic and urban fantasy. I tend to think of urban fantasy more as contemporary fantasy over urban. My second fantasy series, the Primogenitor Saga, I am writing the 4th book of that series right now. And
Wow.
when I when I started that, the only thought in my mind was to write a story about a guy who can turn into a saber-toothed cat.
Okay.
And the world, the story of Smilodon, all of that evolved from just the one statement: I want to write a story about a guy who can turn into a saber-toothed cat.
Interesting.
Sounds like Manimal.
I before I lead you down into some of the other stuff, which appeals to me very much, I want to recognize the fact that our very own Captain Martin, star of the Stranded Warrior in post production. George Zuvalos is on with us, and Michael Steiner is on with us live as well. Thank you for joining us, guys. We're here with author publisher Robert M. Kerns. Rob, tell us about you've done some mystery. Is that correct? Some hardcore mystery books as well, and it looked like there might be two of those. What is up? What's that? Tell us about that, please.
I would not call them hardcore mystery. They're my take on PI mystery, and they are short stories.
Okay.
They came out of my, well, I guess the best way to say it is an excellent way to get me to do something is to get me to think that I can't do it. And for years, I had been under the impression that I couldn't write a short story. Those two titles, Mistaken Identity and The Key to Happiness, those two titles are proof that I can write a short story. I just prefer not to.
Okay.
David Eddings, I read an interview, one of my favorite fantasy authors. I read an interview with David Eddings, and I don't remember much about the interview beyond one quote. In part of his response to a question, David Eddings says, "It takes 100 pages for me to clear my throat." And I totally understand that.
Oh, wow.
Okay. I mean, everybody has their own take on things, right? I mean, their own spin. Let me go to some more of our commentary, and let's see. There is Night's Fall Press is your publishing house, yes or no?
Yes. I founded the company basically to have a business that to handle publishing my stories, because eventually when I get into translations and whatnot, if I will probably produce the translations in-house, wherein I hire a translator and then hire a bilingual proofreader and all that. But if I stumble into a foreign rights deal where a publisher overseas explores the possibility of the rights to translate for their given language, it's a lot easier to do contracts between publishing companies crossing international lines from what I've read. And I could be completely wrong about that, but that's mainly why I did it.
Interesting. So then this begs the question, have you actually had any of your novels translated?
Not yet.
Okay.
I'm still trying to decide whether I want to produce them in-house or pursue foreign rights deals. And once I answer that question, knowing me and how much I prefer to keep control of the process, I'll probably produce them in-house and start with the most common: German, Spanish, and Italian.
Wow.
And French.
So, Rob, where are you now in the state of things, the big picture? How far, into, I guess, the next project? What's the news? Give us some news on your writing and your publishing.
Okay. Primogenitor number 4 is 85% complete, if I remember correctly. It will be titled Tempus, as in Latin for time. I sent, there were 2 covers that I sent you that haven't popped up yet, and they are not the first. The series starter, The Shepherd, starts out as my take on the old alien abduction yarn, and that will be published within a couple weeks. It will be up on Night's Fall Press first because I control that, and then it will be Amazon, Apple Books, everywhere else. they usually can roll it out within 3 to 5 business days from the
Interesting.
time I upload it.
Oh, fantastic. And so what about audiobooks? Because that's a favorite of Tipsy Toaster. Where do we stand on audiobooks?
Um, Most of my catalog is in audio. I just finished proofing audio for Shepherd, so the audio can go live at the same time the ebook goes live. I am proofing right now, well, not right now because we're talking, but one of my projects is proofing the audio for Hyperion, which is the second book of a series in what will be a shared world. So aside from the omnibus audiobook for Colin Shreks, I think the rest of my catalog is in audio.
Wow.
And like my ebooks, it can be found almost anywhere. Audible, it's at most library. Only certain titles on Audible. I am in the process of switching over to go direct to Audible instead of through a distributor. Minor
Okay.
technical note there.
Okay.
And unfortunately, the processing time involved is just horrendous.
Really?
The publishing, it's crazy. I want to say it was like November, either October, November. It was something like a 4 to 6 week turnaround for an uploaded title to appear on Amazon Audible.
Wow.
Or that may have been earlier. It may have been earlier in the year, but yeah, last year and they're starting to get that. They've really cut down since then. So I don't know if they've added more servers or what, but the processing time is much better than it was last year. But yeah, and the catalog update times. If you go through a distributor, like to get to most places, I have to go through an audio, especially for libraries. Like if I want to offer my audiobooks to libraries, all of the services that serve libraries don't allow direct uploads. They might for the bigger publishers, but that's where distributors, some people call them aggregators, come in.
Wow. Well, Rob, listen, there's more. There's more to the fact that you're just not an author, but you're also a publisher. And that's something that we find fascinating. I know that we have a very strong following of writers, both professional and amateur, that are always interested in this process creatively and otherwise. We want to have you back, Rob. There's more. There is way more. There is more to talk about. Not only your personal work, but the backstory and all the details that you're bringing to us are extremely fascinating. It's not everybody that can bring the expertise that you're unfolding with us. The attention to detail and the backstory, the insider aspect that you bring is extremely fascinating. So we would like to extend a welcome to you to come back. Thank you for taking the time out tonight. Don't forget, everybody, that there is at least, I know that everything that you have out is on Amazon, and I believe that it's also on your publishing website, Nightfall. Mm-hmm. So that is Nightfall where everyone Press, can. Yeah. And real quick, are you going to be at any conventions?
I have not planned out a convention circuit yet. That is correct. Yet that is on my list. I do like the idea of visiting, especially book fairs and book festivals. But on Nightsfall Press, which it's nightsfall.press with a K, KNIGHTSFALL.press, each book page has links to all the retailers where they can be found. So
Excellent.
if part of your audience prefers, say, Kobo over Amazon or Apple, if one of my titles is there, there'll be a link to it on the book page.
Fantastic. Robert, thank you so much for taking the time out. Like I said before, we want to definitely have you back. We're going to coordinate that with another major release, and we'll get into more of everything that we discussed, which I find fascinating. Dan Launderville and Ann Larson, thank you for jumping on, watching us live. Tipsy.
Once again, it's great to see somebody who has got a story in their mind from either from waking up. Sometimes I wish I had I need to keep a piece of paper and a pen by the bed, because sometimes you get those wonderful, you had mentioned dreams that you finally remember, and then you're like, I need to write that down, and then you're like, I just need some more sleep, and then you wake up, you're like, I forgot it. So it's great that there's some inspiration, there's creativity, there's world building, and that's what you do. So hopefully someday maybe we can see one of these built into a movie, or once again, you've got the audiobooks and the books. So I think it's great that you can share something of an idea in the written word as much as the spoken word. So thank you for creating a world.
Here's to you, Rob. Thank you for stopping in. We really enjoyed that. Thank you.
Yep, here's to you.
You're
Fans
welcome.
feel the fleet.
Thank you for having me.
Oh, absolutely. We look forward to having you back. I also wanted to thank Hey Thur for dropping in live as well. We've had quite the new fans stopping in and listening to our broadcast. Hopefully you're enjoying it live and continue later on as well. Thank you very much, and of course that's really cool, Tipsy, because we got the insights. Like I was saying, it's not only from the author perspective, but
Right.
also from so he's a publisher, so he and the way he presented things, they're just well discussed, well thought out in terms of, I can assume that it's just the way he presents the facts, and it's all just laid out so well, extremely fascinating. I
Yeah.
enjoyed that, and
It's good to
I
have,
want to
it could have inspiration
yeah.
by someone who, and once again, he's an author as well as a publisher. So
It's
so
really cool.
we have a lot of people who are interested in writing books, and maybe something
Yeah.
that that's something that if somebody writes a book, we now have connections to a publisher. If you want to reach out, this can't hurt, right?
That's right. But yeah, very, very cool. Jerry Lavaco, thank you for joining us live. We just had interview with Robert Kerns, author, publisher of both science fiction and fantasy novels.
Yep.
And the next
I
visit...
appreciate that part, because what did we have a discussion last week? We had a discussion on science fiction and fantasy. They're not the same.
Yes, that is true. Absolutely. Yeah, we did. And kind of jumped over, and Kim, thanks for joining. That's done both the sci-fi and the fantasy. Not to mention, he told us that he wrote a couple of short stories that are mystery based.
Right, and that's
really,
another
really
thing that
cool.
we've heard a lot of the authors say is, even if you just write a short story, write something. Get something out there, start writing it, even short stories or whatever it may be. You write, what was it? I forget who. Somebody gave us a saying: if you write 100 pieces and maybe one is good,
Right.
it's still one is good. One is a award winner. One is a whatever.
Yeah, yeah.
If you don't write 100 pieces, or you don't write any of the pieces, you'll never get there.
There's Baz put up an interesting plot line.
Yeah, I saw that.
And so Baz, you need to as a log line, you need to push that out, man. I think it's a pretty good one. We didn't get a chance to actually pitch it to Mr. Kerns, but I don't know. I think you should put that under your hat and use that. You never know.
There you go.
should explore
Baz,
that.
start writing a book.
Yeah, I think you got something that sounds really cool. To find gold, you have to dig through a lot of dirt. That is right,
Ooh,
Baz. But
I like
I'll tell
that.
you got. I think you have something. I think it's pretty interesting. So, do you know if there's any truth in the rumor of Riddick 4? I also heard that they're working on it. Alita 2 and I Am Legend 2. I Am Legend 2 also heard that is in some stage of production. I don't know about the Alita 2, but I have heard of Legend 2. And as a matter of fact, Baz also was pushing how he liked Dune 2. Erwin, thank you for stopping in. And appreciate you watching us live. And it'll be a book about do-it-yourself building. Well, it could be, but the way the spin that you put on it, I thought it was kind of interesting. Guys, you know what? We promised to do a little bit of trivia. So, Chris, where do you want to start? Do we go with Babylon 5? Do we go with Star
Trek?
Trek?
Go with Babylon 5, but I'm gonna
Okay.
I'm gonna suck at it, so I'm just gonna run the back end.
So this is from the Ultimate Quiz Book, Chris McCauley and Ian Elliott. And this is obviously from Amazon. And everybody should know that forward by Claudia Christian, who we interviewed at DragonCon last year, is the only
Very nice person, and she was the only person who was taking one of the very few people that were taking interviews.
Yes, and that was courtesy of Chris McCauley. So thank you again, both of you, Chris and Claudia, for giving us that interview. And I'm going to, let's see, part 1. I'm going to pick a question from Babylon 5. And
I'll bounce off that with Star Trek quotes.
Okay, so
you do one, I'll do one.
All right, so here we go. What is the name of the fighters used by Earth Force? Bam. Come on, guys. Let's see. Let's see who comes up with the answer. This is all for fun. And I have, let's see, it tells you, go to page 44 for an answer.
Sounds like a choose your own adventure.
Sort of. Let's see. James Cameron lost his grip with Avatar 2. He has to make up for that. Yes, he does. Let's see. So, beware Medusans. That's right, Mike. Inside joke. That goes back over 25 years. Anyway, so that was your question. I'm going to read it one more time and see if anybody gets this.
What is the answers yet?
What is the name of the fighters used by Earth Force? Come on, guys. Babylon 5. Babylon 5.
You should be Googling if you don't know it.
Yeah. Come on. Somebody's got to have the answer.
I got to rewatch Babylon 5. It's been too long.
Babylon 5. Not to mention, we posted on IFB. We got a heads up from George G. Told us that found an article talking about an interview that Straczynski gave not too long ago, talking about how the pandemic got in the way, the mergers and acquisitions of the various companies out there, but now that it's settling, that Babylon 5 has legs again, bringing it back. So let's see. Oh, James McCoy got it.
Google Force.
Yes. No, well, James McCoy got it. Star Furies. That's right. Very good, James. Thank you, sir, for coming through with that. Chris, your turn.
All right, so let me switch over to me.
Yeah, switch over to you now.
Drop this off. So these are Star Trek quotes. Let's see if you can... This is going to be kind of hard, but let me find one that's somewhat easy.
Okay.
These are quotes and kind of... I love this book, by the way. It's Star Trek Speaks. It's
I love that book.
It's got some great lines from the shows that make you think. Let's see.
Oh, Kim, you should watch Babylon 5. Steven Dabrowski, thank you for watching live. Much appreciated.
Let's See, I'm trying to find one that everybody would know. Because some of
just
these are
throw
like...
one out, man.
I don't...
Come on.
Some of these are
Grab
really
one,
short.
grab one.
So these are really short, so...
Let's go.
Well, this ought to be easy.
Yeah, go.
All right, so the quote is, "There is a way out of any cage."
There is a way out of any cage.
cage.
All right, so the first clue should be. All right, so so where are we going with this? Is it? Do you want to know who said it? What episode? What season?
What would be the episode?
Okay, so who's
There's
the
a
first
clue in the wording.
Okay. So what
There's
does it
a
say? Say
way
it again.
out of any cage.
Oh, I think
That should be a really easy giveaway by that point.
Well, all right.
Rogue One?
Yes.
No, not
I
Rogue
know.
One.
I know exactly what it is, but I'm not going to say. Bez, it's not Rogue One. David, thank you for tuning in. Much appreciated. We're doing a little bit of trivia.
There you
here.
go. Kim got it.
Wait a second. Mike DeBruyne said the menagerie first, and then Kim said the cage.
Yes.
Baz, it's not Nicolas Cage. So, Mike
It is
DeBruyne could
the
be right.
menagerie / the cage. So it's
Yes. So, excellent. Well done, both of you. Well done. All right. So, let us go with a little bit of classic Battlestar Galactica.
Ooh, wow.
And-
We're going, and now I can compete.
Now you can compete. Okay.
I know about all those.
So, oh yeah. Well, you're gonna have this. This is not gonna be just that simple. Okay. Let me go with. Oh my God. There's a whole bunch of really, really good ones. Okay. Okay. So this is 10 letters, 2
Oh, jeez.
words. Yeah. You thought you
First word sounds like.
No. 10 letters, 2 words, and it's a ship. It's a ship that is spoken of frequently throughout Battlestar Galactica.
I already know it.
10 letters, 2 words, and it's the name of the ship. Come on, guys.
I know
Oh,
already.
Achilles. Thank you for joining us, Achilles. Much appreciated.
I
We're
already
doing
know
a little
it.
bit of trivia.
I knew that
Come on.
one already.
Oh, you think you know?
Oh, I knew.
Okay.
I do know. Yeah, there's no doubt about it. Because I am a party animal.
Oh, Kim got it. The Rising Star.
Mm-hmm.
Baz,
Which
it's
had
not
some
the
really
ship of
cool
lights.
wallpaper, by the way.
Yes, Mike DeBruyne almost, but not quite. Kim got it in first. Baz, I said it's 2 words. You went with ships of lights. That's nice, but nah. But all right. All right. You ready with where do you want to go next? We go back to Star Trek. We go to Babylon. What do you want to do?
We'll go back to Star Trek real quick.
Okay,
so
let's go back to
there's
Star
also a key word in this one as well.
Okay, cool.
It is, there is only one kind of woman, or man for that matter. You either believe in yourself or you don't.
Oh.
There's a key word in there, and the key word is woman. Women.
Oh. Oh boy.
Key word is women, that's in the title.
Okay. Ooh.
Avoid them both.
Oh boy. Eric.
Best is avoid them both.
Avoid them both. Yeah, Eric.
There's only one kind of woman, or man for that matter. You either believe in yourself or you don't.
Eric, thank you for joining us live. We're doing a little bit of trivia. We're coming back full circle to the beginning when we started. Well, actually, no, we didn't start with Star Trek. We started Babylon 5. We went back to Star Trek. We're going to do two questions, 2 trivia from each series that we're doing tonight, that we're spotlighting, which is Babylon 5, the original Star Trek, and the original Battlestar Galactica. So, Chris, one more time, the question. It's
All right,
a quote.
I'm going to add to it
Quote.
too. So you ready?
Okay.
There's
Good.
only one kind of woman or man for that matter, you either believe in yourself or you don't. The women have been duped into believing that their beauty has derived from a pill.
Oh,
When the
I know
beauty really
exactly.
comes from inside.
Oh, come on, man. Oh, James, come on. It's this classic Trek, bro. Not DS9. Not DS9. Out. Gary, thank you for joining us live. We're doing a little bit of trivia. Let's see. Oh, James. All right, Jim, you actually recovered. You're correct. Mud's women, right? Right, Chris?
Yes, Mud's women.
Yes. Oh, yes. Excellent. All right. So, we're gonna do, I guess, one more tipsy from Babylon 5, correct?
Okay.
Or did we do? We didn't do two. This.
I think we haven't done 2 for Babylon 5. This will be the second.
All right. So yeah. So let me go. Here we go. I went to a different page in the book. So in case any of you have this book, I'm not gonna tell you what page it is. Babylon 5, the Ultimate Quiz Book by Chris McCauley and Ian Elliott. I got this off of Amazon.
And we bought it ourselves. We did not make any.
Correct.
Yeah.
So
nobody was given it. It wasn't given to us or anything
Oh.
like that. So if you want to, we're not sponsored by them yet.
oh my God. Oh, that's really hard. I don't. Nobody will get that.
Pick a different one.
Yeah. Okay. Woof. This is no joke.
Baz wants a modern BSG. I'll give you a modern BSG after this one's over, Baz. I promise.
All right. Okay. Perfect. I got it. Who was the second commander of Babylon 5? Where's George? George G, you should get this, man. You were a huge Babylon 5 fan. Who was the second commander of Babylon 5? Come on, let's go. I want the answer right now, immediately. We're not all stuck in 78. Well, unfortunate for you, my friend Baz. Maybe you should be. Oh, James McCoy says Sinclair. I have his autograph, by the way. So, everybody agree or disagree? I'm going to check the answer right now. And let's. Oh, Mike DeBruyne says Bruce Boxleitner.
Yes. There's a really good, interesting story about that, by the way.
It's not Nicolas Cage, Baz. Okay, so
He starred in The Cage, by the way.
Michael Campbell, thank you for watching. We're doing a little bit of trivia as we wrap up our IFB Interfleet Broadcasting live show tonight. The question was, who was the second commander of Babylon 5? And the answer is actually Sheridan. So, come on, guys. Kind of funny. But, all right, we got to brand the new Babylon 5. J.D. Alto, thank you for joining us. We're doing some trivia here on IFB Interfleet Broadcasting.
All right, so I owe Baz a recent Battlestar Galactica.
Yes, let's go. Come on.
Let's see. I gotta think of it for a second. You got one to go ahead. I'm gonna look this one up because I really want to make sure I got it right.
Okay, so, I could go with. I'll just do this one. Okay, so this word, it's a name. It's a name, 10 letters, and 10 letters in a name, supporting character, and many of us really enjoyed her character, but not the Tipsy's number one. And
So it's not Athena.
exactly, not Athena. So 10 letters to this character's name, female character in Battlestar Galactica Classic. Who is it? Come on, you guys. Come on.
I know it.
Oh, Mike DeBruyne, Cassiopeia. Boom.
Yep.
Done. Lockdown. Very well done, Mike. Well done. Baz says, did you hear Chuck Norris was killed yesterday? He's feeling much better today.
It's
Well
an easy.
done,
Let's
Mike.
see. This was an easy one for the new Battlestar Galactica. Who's
All
the
right,
top?
let's go.
Who's
I wanna
Top
hear
Gun?
this.
Who's
Let's
the
go.
Top Gun? Who's Top Gun?
Oh, come on. Who's Top Gun? Let's go. Nicole Cage. No. Wrong. Bez taking in too many of those fumes, man.
Yep.
From the glue.
Who steals the Top Gun from Starbuck? So who steals the Top Gun for Starbuck?
Oh, John 1 said Starbuck. Paul
Yes,
says
there you go.
Gareth Race. Baz says Cat.
Yep.
And Mike DeBruin said Starbucks. So, Cat.
Yep.
Way to go, Baz. So the fumes are helping you. Some of that is the paint or something's helping you, my friend. All right. Well, I think, Chris, that's
Yeah,
a
we
wrap.
had some fun tonight. I mean,
We sure
it's
did.
it's great that you all joined us, and
Yes.
I love to hear about some of the authors, and it inspires me to want to write more. Unfortunately, I wish I didn't have a daytime job, but I do need to start writing some more.
Yes,
So
you need to make the time, Chris.
Yeah.
Make the time.
it is what it is. Yeah, you got to make the time. So, but it's good to hear from the authors, and it's good to hear from our fans, and it's good to have a little bit of fun. And then it's good to get some updated stuff. Man, how many lead-ins did I throw John tonight? Come on, John. I mean, anyways.
All
Good
right.
to hear
Well,
good to hear the news. So we had a great time with the news, and we will be back next week. Hopefully,
That's right.
Tiny Bean Tara will be joining us next week. That's her
correct.
week for
Correct.
the movie and video reviews, or movie and TV
Yes.
reviews.
That's right.
And what? go
Yeah.
ahead.
I'll just thank everybody for tuning in on
Yep.
from my end. We love having you on board, guys. Please keep clicking the thumbs up. Don't forget to
Yeah.
give us those thumbs up.
And,
Subscribe if you
yep.
haven't.
I've
Right?
got that video here somewhere. Where is it at?
Okay,
This
cool.
is an old video because it still has Twitter as the Twitter thing.
Yeah. All right.
I
Well,
gotta
we're gonna
fix
update that.
I gotta update that. It's no longer Twitter. It's X.
It's
But,
X, but don't forget to tell your friends
X.
about the show, man. Thanks for joining us.
Tell your friends about
if
the
you
show,
wanna-
and then
Absolutely.
if
You know how to
uh,
contact us.
you wanna help us?
Broadcasting.
and if you want to help us, go
absolutely.
to Buy Me a Coffee
Yes.
and look up Interfleet Broadcasting.
Yes,
If
that's
you
right.
want to help us get some pay for some of the stuff that we do, my new computers and cameras and email stuff we pay for, and
Platform
platforms.
expenses. Yeah, some of the other good stuff. There's
A lot of this
some
comes
good
out of our pockets, and we enjoy the heck out of it. But if you want to, we're not saying you have to, or if you want to, you can throw us a couple of bucks on Buy Me a Coffee. That'd be great. And buy us, I think we call it ambrosia on ours, but it's
That's right, we
The
do.
company's called Buy Me a Coffee.
Yeah,
And it's
stay safe.
Easy platform. So yep. So stay safe. Keep on sci-fi-ing.
Absolutely.
And we will be back
See you.
We'll be back in broadcast range on Thursday.
Yep.
Next Thursday. We don't have anybody else to set up for that, right? We don't have any.
John 1 will confirm. We're waiting to lock down a name, so as soon as we do, we'll let everybody know.
Okay.
But looking forward to seeing you next show. You know that we have IFB exclusive every other week, so stay tuned for that as well. As Richard Hatch used to say, keep the faith, and ultimately remember our own little motto here that we have. This is to you guys.
Thank you so much for joining us. You guys are great. Fans
Fuel the fleet. There you go, guys. Take care. Till next time.
Boom.